years old, Abraham ordered his oldest, most trusted servant to find a wife for Isaac. In the tradition of the times, Abraham had him place his hand under his thigh and made him swear by the Lord that he would not choose a wife for Isaac from the Canaanites among whom they were living. Instead, Abraham wanted his servant to go back to Abraham's ancestral lands in Padan Aram, where he might find a more suitable wife for Isaac. "But suppose the woman doesn't want to follow me back here," asked the servant. "Shall I take Isaac back to your homeland?" "No, you must promise me that you will not take Isaac back there." And Abraham explained that if the woman was unwilling to follow him, the servant would be free from the oath he had sworn. The faithful old servant then took 10 of his master's camels, loaded them with beautiful gifts, and set off for the city of Nahor, which is close to Haran. He reached the outskirts of the city toward evening and had his camels kneel down beside the well of water. The women of the town were already out to draw water from the well. The servant prayed, asking for some sign from the Lord that would help him choose a wife for Isaac from among those women. "O Lord," he said, "I am standing here by the spring of water, and the daughters of the townspeople are coming out to draw water. When I say, 'Please, let me sip a little water from your jar,' let the one you have chosen for Isaac say, 'Drink, and I will water your camels also.'" Even before he had finished praying, the beautiful Rebekah, daughter of one of Abraham's nephews, appeared with a water jar on her shoulder. The servant went to meet her and said, "Please let me sip a little water from your jar." He wondered if she was the woman God had chosen to be the wife of Isaac. Then Rebekah answered. She answered with a sign from God. "Drink, my lord, and I will draw water for your camels also." The servant knew then that God had chosen Rebekah to be the wife of Isaac, and asked if there was room for him to spend the night in her father's house. Rebekah ran home and told her brother Laban what had happened. And Laban returned to the spring to invite the stranger and his party into their home. Before they ate, the servant told Rebekah's family that he had been sent by Abraham to find a wife for Isaac. And recognizing that the servant was blessed by the Lord, they agreed to let Rebekah leave with him. The next morning, Rebekah and her maids prepared for the long trip back to Canaan. Then they mounted the camels and went with the servant to meet Isaac. Isaac was settled in the Negev and happened to be out for a stroll in the field. When he looked up, he saw camels approaching and went to meet the caravan. When Isaac and Rebekah saw each other for the first time, it was love at first sight. She slipped quickly from her camel and whispered to the servant, "Who is that man over there, walking in the field to meet us?" The servant said, "That is my master, Isaac." Rebekah quickly covered herself with her veil, as was proper for a maiden. The servant then introduced Rebekah to Isaac and told him everything that had happened on his trip, how he prayed for a sign from the Lord, and how the beautiful Rebekah gave him that sign. Rebekah and Isaac fell very much in love and were married, and there was a great celebration. In Genesis 24:67, the Bible tells us,
"Then Isaac brought her into his mother Sarah's tent. He took Rebekah, and she became his wife, and he loved her. So Isaac was comforted after his mother's death."
Abraham lived to the age of 175, as the Bible describes him, an old man and full of years. His sons, Isaac and Ishmael, came together for the last time to bury their beloved father in the cave of Machpelah, in the field east of Mamre, where they had buried Sarah. After Abraham died, God blessed Isaac, and Isaac and Rebekah settled at Beer Lahai Roi. After 20 years of marriage, Rebekah finally became pregnant. Rebekah was having difficulty conceiving a child, but Isaac prayed to the Lord, and the Lord answered his prayer, thereby perpetuating the family of Abraham. Rebekah's pregnancy was extremely difficult. She had conceived twins, and the children within her were scuffling even before they were born. This was distressing to Rebekah, who said, "If it is to be this way, why do I live?" In Genesis 25:23, the Lord explained to Rebekah,
"Two nations are in your womb, and two peoples born of you shall be divided. The one shall be stronger than the other. The elder shall serve the younger."
And when her time came to give birth, the first twin was born covered in red hair. The second child emerged holding on to his brother's heel.
תאומים היו בבטנה. הראשון אדמוני כולו כעדרת שיער.
The first child they named Esau,
ואחרי כן יצא אחיו.
and the younger they named Jacob. Isaac was 60 years old when his sons were born. As the boys grew, Esau learned to be an outdoorsman and a skillful hunter, while Jacob was more of a shepherd and herder. Esau became his father's favorite, and Jacob was his mother's. And as the years went by, the brothers grew their separate ways, and when they were young men, something happened that drew them even further apart. One day, when Jacob was cooking a stew, Esau staggered back from the field, exhausted and starving. "Let me eat some of that red stuff, for I am famished," said Esau. And Jacob said, "First, sell me your birthright." Jacob was demanding that Esau turn over to him whatever might become his as Isaac's firstborn. The famished Esau agreed to the sale with the words, "I am about to die. Of what use is a birthright to me?" "Swear to me first," insisted Jacob. And Esau swore to him. Only then did Jacob offer him food, and only later did the full effect of this oath become apparent. When a famine came to the land, Isaac considered going to Egypt, where he knew there would be food, as his father Abraham had done before him. He traveled as far as Gerar. But then Isaac received his first vision. In Genesis 26:2, the Lord appeared to him and said,
"Do not go down to Egypt. Settle in the land that I shall show you. Reside in this land as an alien, and I will be with you, and will bless you. For to you and your descendants I will give all these lands, and I will fulfill the oath that I swore to your father Abraham."
So Isaac trusted in the word of the Lord and settled in Gerar, the land of the Philistines. When the men of Gerar asked him about Rebekah, he was afraid to say she was his wife. "Because she is so attractive," he thought, "the men might kill me for her sake." So he told them she was his sister. When Isaac had been in Gerar a long time, one day King Abimelech looked out and saw Isaac caressing Rebekah. He called for Isaac and said, "So she is your wife. Why then did you say she was your sister?" Isaac then explained that he was fearful that if he said she was his wife, he might be killed for her sake. Abimelech was upset with Isaac. "What have you done to us? One of the people might easily have lain with your wife, and you would have brought guilt upon us." But sensing the hand of the Lord, Abimelech warned all the people, "Whoever touches this man or his wife shall be put to death." The Lord blessed Isaac so abundantly that his crops reaped 100-fold, and he became very wealthy. From there, Isaac went up to Beersheba, where the Lord appeared to him. In Genesis 26:24, the Lord said to him,
"I am the God of your father Abraham. Do not be afraid, for I am with you, and will bless you and make your offspring numerous for my servant Abraham's sake."
In Genesis 27:1, we read of Isaac as old and rather feeble. His eyes were dim so that he could not see. He called to his firstborn and favorite son, Esau, for he wanted to give him his blessing. To understand the full impact of this story, it is important to know that according to ancient belief, blessings or curses were powerful acts because they had the power to produce the intended results. A blessing, once given, could neither be withdrawn nor given to another, for it came from God. Here is where God's prophecy to Rebekah before her sons were born is fulfilled. The elder shall serve the younger. Isaac told Esau to take his weapons and hunt game, and then prepare a savory dish for him before he gave him his blessing. Rebekah overheard Isaac's instructions to Esau and quickly devised a plan so that Jacob, her favorite son, would receive the blessing from Isaac. She told Jacob to choose 2 choice kids from the household flock and bring them to her, so that she might prepare savory food for Isaac. She then explained to Jacob, "You shall take it to your father to eat, so that he may bless you before he dies." But Jacob was fearful that his father would see through the deception. "Look," he said, "my brother Esau is a hairy man, and I am a man of smooth skin. If my father were to feel me, he would know I was Jacob, not Esau, and he'd bring his curse upon me rather than his blessing." "Let your curse be on me," she said. "Obey my word and get them for me." And so it was that Jacob got them, and Rebekah prepared savory food, just as Isaac loved. For his disguise